Before 2007, Call of Duty was just another World War II shooter, fitting in with all the other World War II shooters that was on the market. And then this happened.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare changed absolutely everything in the gaming scene. It wasn't even just a new Call of Duty game, it was the start of a brand new era. Pre-2007, the gaming market was dominated mainly by games like Halo, Battlefield and other World War II shooters that all kind of blended in. COD was known at the time, but it wasn't cool yet. It wasn't that mainstream game that it is now. Not taking anything away from the previous games, they was all absolutely great, but Call of Duty 4 really changed things. Call of Duty went from an old school kind of game, World War II, to this modern day shooter, something that hadn't really been seen before in the market and specifically to the Call of Duty franchise. Infinity Ward at the time took a massive gamble and then moved into that modern era of gaming, and that was the one decision that not only changed Call of Duty but it changed the entire FPS genre. This theme gave Call of Duty a brand new identity. It was such a magical feeling when the game dropped and when you jumped on it. The moment you saw that M4, when you saw the night vision, when you saw the SAS, it felt completely real. It was cinematic, it was gritty, it was modern, and for the first time, it seemed quite relevant. The campaign on its own was like a movie, the most fantastic playing experience you could have at the time. Some of the most iconic missions that we will ever get in Call of Duty games, and some of these missions still have not been topped, even in games that are being made today and have budgets that are 50 times higher than what it was for this game. All Ghillied Up, shock and awe. It was absolutely magical. The feelings attached with Call of Duty 4 was so special that you cannot describe them to people now. It gave us a new outlook on gaming, and it proved that FPS games can be emotional and not just explosive and chaos. But it wasn't just the campaign that changed everything. Online play took a stand. It became addicting, and for the first time you were rewarded for it. The progression system was amazing. The XP system, the prestiging, the challenges, it kept you hooked, it kept you playing, and you always wanted more. You always wanted them top camos, you always wanted to get the kill streaks, you always wanted to dominate these lobbies and get to that max prestige. The kill streaks were so simple yet so genius. A UAV, an airstrike, and a helicopter. They were so simple, but they were so satisfying. The helicopter was so strong, don't get me wrong, could have done with a bit of a nerf, but it was such a fantastic system, and it was a great way to introduce kill streaks into the franchise. And when you compare it to some of the modern day CODs, this is the blueprint that they still kind of follow. There's always that UAV, there's always that airstrike kind of kill streak, and there's always the helicopter that sits around the 3, 5 and the 7 kill marks. And let's not forget the actual gameplay of the multiplayer. It was a fantastic experience. It was smooth, it was fast, it was well paced, and it fit the game perfectly. The maps and the guns, it all fit the game like it was designed to. I feel like that's the mark that they miss with some of these modern games. Some of the maps and guns, they do not fit the game and what it's marketed as. Some of these maps were absolutely iconic and out of this world, and they still get recycled in modern games today. Shipment, Crash, Crossfire, Backlot, the list goes on and on and on. Although Shipment has been absolutely drained to its core with the new ones, on Call of Duty 4, Shipment was a fantastic map and it fit the game well. And the multiplayer associated with Call of Duty 4 didn't just stop at the end of the game's life cycle. It brought on a further development. We was introduced to community servers and modded lobbies and things that people were setting up in their own time and space just to enable people to continue playing this game for years to come. PC, there's still a huge player base on it. You can still jump on some of the modded clients, get in lobbies really quickly, snipe in lobbies, just like it was the old days. People still remember why we fell in love with this game and why this game was so great, and they haven't tried changing it and they haven't changed play styles. It still plays how it used to. People still appreciate these iconic guns, the M16s, the MP5s, the M4A3s. You could tell a player exactly by his loadout, and that's what I like about this game. It provided a bit of personality. One of the bigger reasons why Call of Duty 4 was so iconic is it birthed the YouTube montage era. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. You could jump on YouTube, you can find COD 4 montages, people sniping, people trying to hit trick shots and quick scoping, and everybody had certain names in the community that would ring a bell if I said them to you right now. People loved the content, it created fantastic content. There were game battles, there were quick scopes, there were trick shots. There were so many unique things about this game and things that got pushed to a viral scale and things that got made competitive. Game battles is another big one. Everybody loved game battles because it allowed you to be a bit more competitive. It allowed you to put a bit more skin in the game and prove your worth on a game where ranked didn't exist yet. People got good at this game. This game was tactical and it actually required skill. Having game battles gave people that platform and that outlet to actually show that skill. And mixing in game battles with pro mod and PC competitive play, it created an esport before esports even existed. The word esports wasn't even a thing in 2007, but it was created off the back of this game. Competitive tournaments, the pro mod, the game battles, they all merged and built this massive community of people that just really enjoyed playing this game and people that were really good at this game and wanted to show their skill off. It formed an entire loyal community without that even being the purpose of the game. There was nothing in the game to incentivize a community or like it was their goal to build a community. It just happened off the back of the game because it was that good and it was that iconic. It was just raw gameplay. It was skill based and it connected players in a way that few games have ever been able to connect players before. And it just shows the longevity and true greatness of this game. When people are still playing it now, even 17 years later, people still play COD 4X on PC. Pro Mod is still kicking about. People still love this game. That proves that this is an absolute masterpiece. And of course, it would be rude to ignore the impact that this has had on the future games, specifically the Call of Duty titles. Without COD 4, there's no Modern Warfare 2, there's no Modern Warfare 3, there's no Warzone, there's no remakes. It all stemmed from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, released in 2007. YouTube wouldn't have been half as big as it is with Call of Duty content if it wasn't for this game. Neither would the competitive scene. It just proved that a shooter can be cinematic, competitive and community driven all at the same time. And still now, nearly 2 decades later, game developers, particularly Call of Duty game developers, are still chasing that magic and they still cannot find it. In terms of an actual game, it wasn't a perfect game. It still had its problems like every game does today, but it didn't have to be perfect. It just had to be good enough, and that's exactly what it was. The actual gameplay was fine for everybody. The difference being that the game had a soul, the game had personality, and it gave you a reason to enjoy playing it and keep coming back to it, something that the newer games fail to achieve. I think we're all in agreement. Call of Duty 4 didn't just change Call of Duty, it changed gaming as a whole. It defined a generation of players who just wanted to have fun, and they could do exactly that with this game. If you remember those days and you lived through the best era of gaming like myself, please drop a comment with your favourite COD 4 memories and make sure to subscribe for more nostalgic COD content on the way.